Everybody, it's Caleb here with Indiana Weather Online, Indiana Storm Chasing Network, and we have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the night here for Perry County, Indiana, southern Perry County, Indiana, south of State Road 37. This is for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds for another 42 minutes here, or 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 2 o'clock Central is what this severe thunderstorm warning is for. We have a pretty healthy storm complex here moving through central Kentucky here, which is sparking several severe thunderstorm warnings from northern Kentucky, southern Indiana, all the way down to central Tennessee and even places in northern Mississippi and Alabama getting in on some severe weather as well. Pretty decent hail core here, crossing I-65 here in northern Kentucky, just south of Owensboro here, moving off to the north and east at 30 miles per hour. So not a super fast moving storm here. Torrential rainfall is also occurring in the core of this thunderstorm as well. Just off to the west, we have a couple showers and thunderstorms which has sparked up just south of Ferdinand, Indiana. These are currently not severe at this point in time. Do have a nice couple little small hail cores in there just south and west of the St. Menard area. But those storms are not severe. Our severe thunderstorm warning is for this cell crossing I-65 in northern Kentucky. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with the thunderstorm until 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 2 o'clock Central. As we turn on our velocity here, we're taking a look at the winds here associated with that core. Strongest winds coming in the Habit here, or Hobbit, however you pronounce that there in northern Kentucky, just off to the east of I-65 here, moving north and east towards Knoxville, and eventually into far southern Perry County here. Go ahead and time this out for you. It is moving off to the north and east at 30 miles per hour. So if we time this out for you, type 30 miles per hour in for our storm motion here. We got Hobbit here in 3 minutes, Knoxville 17 minutes, Gatewood 26 minutes, Floral 26 minutes. We have Chambers in 32 minutes, and Tell City, Indiana, here in 46 minutes. The severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here for another 40 minutes or so as this moves off to the east and north at 30 miles per hour. So great to see everybody in here. Thanks for following along. We'll be live here for the entirety of the severe weather event as long as these storms are remaining and meeting that severe weather criteria here. This storm complex is expected to move here in impact areas far southern and southeast Indiana, especially for those counties along the Ohio River up towards the Louisville area, and eventually getting into the Cincinnati area later this afternoon and evening. So keep it here to Indiana Weather Online, Indiana Storm Chasing Network, and we will have you covered here from beginning to end. Back behind this storm complex, we have another batch of rain coming here associated with our area of low pressure. Our low pressure sitting right in here currently, and it's moving in this direction here, but it also has, along the immediate cold front, another line of showers and thunderstorms, currently sub-severe. We don't expect this storm complex to go severe for Indiana. This is actually our main show right in here, so it's not going to leave any ingredients really behind for these storms back in here across Missouri and southern Illinois to really take advantage of. But we do have decent ingredients out ahead of this line here. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect here for portions of southern Indiana until later this evening. That is including hazards within the watch of ping pong ball size hail and sporadic gusts to 70 miles per hour associated with this. The tornado threat is rather low, but a stray tornado or an isolated tornado can't be ruled out here through the remainder of the evening here. One severe thunderstorm warning in effect here, and this is for far southern Perry County, Indiana, really the boot of Perry County, Indiana. I think State Road 237 over to State Road 66, and including Cannleton, Tell City, and Rome, Indiana, until 3 o'clock here this afternoon. And pretty strong wind gusts here depicted on radar. You can see those brighter greens here associated on radar. These are a couple areas where some stronger winds are mixing down to the ground here as this storm moves off to the east and north at 30 miles per hour. Quarter-size hail is also occurring here in this storm. We can turn on our hail tracker here. This is called VIL, Vertical Integrated Liquid. This helps us track our updrafts here and see how they're maintaining their intensity. Currently, right now, the strongest hail core is around that Owensboro, Kentucky area, just south of the Indiana border, moving towards Perry County, Indiana. Currently, the strongest storm or portion of the storm is still in Indiana, or sorry, in northern Kentucky, moving towards extreme southern Indiana here in the next 30 minutes or less. Our severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here until 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time here in extremely far southern Indiana. For those of you asking, are we safe from severe weather? Go ahead and draw a line here for you to help better depict of where the risk for severe weather is. If you are north of this line, you are safe from severe weather today. The greatest risk for severe weather today is in areas of extreme southeast Indiana. I think the bottom two rows of Indiana counties here across southeast Indiana. But if you're in Evansville, Bloomington, Indianapolis, you guys are in the all clear. No severe weather for you today. Could have some rain showers moving in tonight. And these rain showers would be kind of pesky at times. They're actually going to hang around until Monday or Tuesday in Indiana, as this low pressure system that is sparking our severe weather today is going to get cut off from the main jet stream. It's going to leave the jet stream, meaning it has no upper level steering associated with it. The steering wheel has been thrown out the window. This thing is just going to meander and sit around Indiana into next week. That's going to keep our temperatures rather cold as well, and breezy at times, gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour tomorrow and Sunday throughout all of Indiana, as well as colder temperatures as well. That could impact the state of Indiana. So kind of a dreary weekend on deck after we get through this round of severe weather, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Once we get through the middle of next week, we are looking to warm back up, and the extended forecast actually looks really nice and quite beautiful. In fact, once we get through about next Wednesday, Wednesday of next week and beyond, looks pretty good. Severe weather chances go down quite a bit. We have a break coming our way after today, which is a much needed break. Give everyone a chance to regroup and not really have to worry about severe weather for a while. So hopefully that trend continues. We are spring in Indiana, so trends are subject to change, as we all know by now here in Indiana, but hopefully this is a trend that'll stick around. Our hail core right now just south of and east of Owensboro here, just south of the Ohio River. Here's the Ohio River here. You can see Rockport just to the north, Yelvington to the northeast, Knoxville, Kentucky, going to be moving towards the Perry County line here in about 25 minutes or so, coming very close to the Tell City area, in areas just to the south and east towards the Cannleton area, probably here in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Currently, Spencer County is not in a severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time, with the strongest portion of the cell just on the other side of the river here, only by a couple miles, near the Deermont area, Philpott area, coming towards Spice Knob, Knoxville, Yelvington here, just flirting with the Ohio River here before it briefly crosses near the Cloverport area in the southern Perry County, as we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for another 34 minutes here until 3 o'clock Eastern and 2 p.m. Central Time. We do have a couple storms here to talk about here moving into central Perry County, just south of St. Menard, just west of Leopold here. Maybe some pea-size hail, maybe some dimes in there too, but some small hail possible in these storms here that fired just to the north of our severe thunderstorm right in here. These are probably also moving off to the east-northeast at 30 miles an hour. That's what a lot of our storm motions are today. But we do have a couple other spotty storms here, Spencer County as well, coming into Perry County as well. They could have some small hail, but they are not severe at this point in time. But we're going to have to watch them, as some intensification is possible within those two cells. We're just going to have to keep a close eye on them as well. Active weather is also being... We're going to go ahead and turn our velocity back on here to look at the winds here associated with it. We also have a tornado possible warning here for Kentucky, not for Indiana, but for Kentucky. And that's because we have some stronger winds right in here. We actually have a little bit of broad rotation here within this cell. Maybe some outflow boundaries interacting with each other, or a little bit of developing rotation here. So something to keep an eye on. We have strong winds going this way, and we have some slower winds on the north side. And right in the middle there is our area of broad rotation near the Whitesville area in northern Kentucky. Just to the east of Grandview, coming near the Pellville area, Flora area in Kentucky. We're going to have to watch this as it moves towards southern Perry County. No imminent tornado at this point in time, but enough rotation there that the National Weather Service in Louisville has added the tag on it for tornado possible, meaning we see some broad rotation in it. We're keeping an eye on it and monitor this storm for intensification as if it needs upgraded for a tornado warning later on. So something we're going to have to watch here within this storm. No tornado imminent at this point in time, but there is some broad rotation being depicted here on this storm just north of the Whitesville area. Outside of rotation, though, pretty strong winds here in the form of straight line winds impacting the Whitesville area, Beanfield area here in northern Kentucky. Our severe thunderstorm warning is for southern Perry County. Does not include Spencer County, Indiana, just extreme southern Perry County. This is our only severe thunderstorm warning in the state at this point in time. And looking around the region, we're quiet across 90% of Indiana today, with the exception of far southern and southeastern portions of the state here this afternoon through this evening. Severe weather threat will go on here through the evening and start to wind down during the early overnight hours. Once the sun starts to go down, this complex will be exiting Indiana over by the Cincinnati area. So we do have a few hours left here as the storm complex moves into Indiana. But we do have some pretty strong winds here associated with this thunderstorm. Perry County, 30 minutes left on the warning until 3 o'clock Eastern. Quarter-size hail, which is 1 inch in diameter, quarters, and wind of 60 miles per hour. This is our baseline severe thunderstorm warning. If it were to intensify, it may go considerable if we see signs of 70-mile-per-hour winds, but right now, currently none of that is being seen here within that storm. But our severe thunderstorm watch for southern Indiana does include hazards for winds up to 70 mile per hour and hailstones up to ping pong ball size hail, 1.5 inch diameter, possible here within a couple of these stronger storms here this afternoon. So a lot of things to keep an eye on here weather-wise here in the state of Indiana. Turn our hail tracker back on here to look at those storms. Pretty decent hail core now coming into the northern portions of Perry County, just south of St. Menard. Coming near the Huffman area, Bristow area in Perry County, might have some small hail in there, maybe up to dime-size hail perhaps, coming into central portions and northern Perry County as well. So we're going to have to watch a couple of these storms as they are showing signs of hail growth within those cores of those storms. Not a very large storm up there moving into northern Perry County, but is showing signs of intensification, so it is worth watching over the next few minutes or so. And we do have a confirmed report out of Owensboro for 50-mile-per-hour winds. So that gust report was below severe criteria, but there are some stronger winds being indicated by radar just to the south of where that report was taken. Right in here near the Fordsville area. Owensboro up here, not quite as strong of winds up there as there is here to the south. So that was likely just on the north side of where the strongest winds are associated with this storm. But nonetheless, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, is the warning here for Indiana. Perry County, or not Perry County, Owensboro warning here for northern Kentucky did have a tornado possible tag on it and still does for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and a possible tornado. Was showing signs of some little bit of rotation perhaps up in here. However, that has since broadened out on the latest scans and turning into more of a gust front here, where you have some brighter winds, brighter colors here on your velocities, having more of an apex shape to it, more of a bow, indicating more of a straight line wind risk with that area of strong winds moving towards the Hardingsburg area, Cloverport. We're going to have to watch southern Perry County as well for those stronger winds and perhaps some quarter size hail. But we also have some storms firing up to the north here that are sub-severe at this point in time, but they could intensify. They are showing some signs of some hail cores associated within them. Here's a look at the cell. There's just south of St. Menard showing us signs of intensification in terms of its updraft. So could have some small hail in there, maybe some penny-sized hail or less associated with that core there, moving towards State Road 145 towards the Branchville area. Likely also moving northeast at around 30 miles per hour. Decent hail core here, still in our Owensboro cell here, just to the north of Knoxville near 1389 here in Kentucky. This is going to be moving towards US 60 here before it moves across the Ohio River and into southern Perry County. But we also have a couple other cells here, maybe producing some pea-sized hail near the Cloverport, Kentucky area and Tobinsport, Indiana areas there in extreme southern Perry County, right on the Ohio River there, as it crosses back into Kentucky. So a couple different sporadic hail cores here to watch associated with this kind of a mess, kind of a jumbled mess of different thunderstorms within this complex here, all having their own updrafts, all capable of producing hail anywhere from pea-size hail up to quarter-size hail right in here near Knoxville, with maybe some stronger hail south of the St. Menard area. Not severe at this point in time up there for northern portions of Perry County, but are showing some signs of perhaps some small hail up there as well on the Spencer uh, Perry County line there. Another little southwest of Jasper here, showing some signs of maybe some pea-size hail, but sub-severe on all of those. Our only severe thunderstorm right now is the Knoxville, Kentucky cell that'll be approaching US 60 before it moves into Cannelton, Indiana, perhaps Tell City, and then eventually into Tobinsport, Indiana, and Addison, Kentucky, just in far southern Perry County, Indiana, is where this cell is moving into. There's a perhaps if it holds together, it may miss Crawford County. It may go just south of you in northern Kentucky, but Harrison County, we're gonna have to watch you here as the storm continues moving east northeast at 30 miles per hour. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But we are keeping an eye on that cell here in northern Perry County. Still showing signs of some intensification, probably maybe some penny, nickel size hail, but could have a few quarters mixing down on it as well, showing signs of some updraft intensification in it. Not a very wide hail core, very narrow, only a couple miles wide, if that, but could have a few nickels mixing down and maybe a couple quarters as well, showing signs of some quarter size hail aloft. There could be a little bit of melting in that cell, but could have some hailstones there in northern portions of Perry County. Our severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail for extreme portions of southern Perry County, Indiana. But for those of you from Evansville up to let's just say the Metamora area, Greene County, or Franklin County, Indiana, all the way down to Posey County. You guys are in the clear, and everyone to the north and west of that location is in the clear. We'll go ahead and draw a line from Franklin all the way to Posey. If you are north and west of that line, you guys are in the clear today. No risk for severe weather. Could have some rain showers moving in, though, later today, later this afternoon, but no severe weather is expected for anyone across central or northern Indiana. Our severe risk is solely for southern and southeastern portions of the state here today. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for that area across southern Indiana, southeast Indiana for ping pong ball size hail and sporadic wind gusts to 70 miles per hour possible within or just around the watch area. Our hail core here is just on the north side of Knoxville near the Cynthia Scythia area, Gatewood area in northern Kentucky, moving towards Chambers, Kentucky, and just a couple miles away here from Cannelton here. We'll go ahead and time it out here for when it enters the state of Indiana, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Cannelton still has about 20 minutes left, if not maybe a little bit sooner. Likely a little bit sooner here as I base it off the updraft here, but it's a little bit lagging behind, so likely closer to 15 minutes for Cannelton, maybe a little bit quicker than that. Tell City, about 24 minutes, maybe a little bit less, 15 to 20 minutes for you, more than likely. Probably starting to get pretty dark, starting to see some raindrops in Cannelton, and even a couple lightning bolts showing up here outside of town as well as this storm moves into town, and really showing signs of intensification on the northern Perry County cell. We may get a warning on that if it continues to intensify, but I would watch that one for those of you watching in northern Perry County, Indiana. Pretty strong cell there as well. Go ahead and turn our velocity back on to look at the winds here associated with it. You can see your gust front here, stretching all the way from US 60 down to Fordsville, Kentucky, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour towards the Cloverport, Tell City area. 60-mile-per-hour winds possible within there. Is also showing some gusty winds here on the northern Perry County cell. Sub-severe at this point in time up there with our brighter colors to the south and our severe thunderstorm warning, but a strong thunderstorm nonetheless, though, moving outside the Leopold area, likely moving east-northeast at 30 miles an hour, as our other cells are doing as well. So, a strong cell there nonetheless. Pretty decent hail core here, right around the Bristow area in Perry County, just northeast of Huffman. Likely going to go pretty close to the Ranger area, State Road 145. So if you're near the Leopold Branchford area, I would prepare for some decent hail coming your way. Maybe nickel size hail with a few quarters in there as well. Kind of surprised there's no special weather statement on that at least. Um, However, based on what I'm seeing on radar here, it's likely borderline severe criteria for quarter size hail um, as well. But they may have just thrown a special weather statement on that. We'll have to see. I heard a ding, it may pop up. Okay, that ding must have been for Kentucky and not for Indiana. Ought to have been up here. Still, nonetheless, pretty strong. Pretty. Okay, so they did issue a special weather statement on our Perry County cell up here to the north. It just has not populated in my screen yet. Once it does, it will show up as a blue box here. Might just be a radar Omega thing going on here with the radar, but nonetheless, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here for southern Perry County. Northern Perry County has a special weather statement for this storm here. I take it moving towards the I-64 corridor into the West Fork and Crawford County towards the English area over the next few minutes as well, likely moving east-northeast at around 30 miles an hour. That's what a lot of our storm motions are today, but a really decent hail core in there. I still wouldn't be surprised to see a few quarters mix in with that northern cell. Quite a bit of lightning showing up in there as well. Pretty strong thunderstorm nonetheless up there as well. Go ahead and turn our velocities on to take a look at our winds here associated with this. Pretty strong gust run here, approaching the US 60 area here, getting pretty close to southern Perry County here as it moves into extreme southern Perry County, Indiana. So the special weather statement that you can't see, I just got word, is for half-inch hail and some gusty winds as well associated with it. Strongest hail core near the Bristow area, just north of Ranger. You can see some gusty winds here associated with this storm as well. But I wouldn't be surprised personally to see a few quarters mixing in on that cell. It looks pretty healthy on radar. It, it looks very healthy actually on radar. Areas to the south here. This severe thunderstorm likely going to go just to the south of Tell City, Indiana. So we're going to be looking at Candleton, Tobinsport, Addison, Kentucky, as well as Rome, Indiana, and Harding Grove, Indiana. Here in the boot of Perry's County, likely going to see the hail core from this severe thunderstorm. But gusty winds are possible anywhere between Tell City, Cloverport, and anywhere really within the warning box. The hail core is isolated just to right here, likely going to move towards the Cloverport area or just maybe a little bit north, with our strongest winds anywhere on our gust front here. Winds may be starting to pick up in Tell City here in the next 5 minutes or so, as the gust front is crossing US 60 into Perry County. Stronger winds to the south. Tobinsport, Cloverport, Kentucky, and Tobinsport, Indiana here in the extremely southern portions of Perry County, Indiana. Doesn't get any much further south than this. 60-mile-per-hour winds here. We see these brighter reflectivities here coming into the Cloverport area and Tobinsport, Indiana regions here in the next couple of minutes or so. Back to our hail tracker here on this radar. Still very healthy cell there, northern Perry County. We may see that go warned if it continues to show signs of intensification. but still a very healthy cell nonetheless. These storms are moving off to the north and east at 30 miles per hour. This is our only severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana at this point in time, just solely for southern Perry County, Indiana. But we're going to have to watch counties downstream, such as Harrison County. Um, this storm here that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning, it is still severe, may move out of Indiana briefly before moving back in to perhaps Harrison County. So southern Crawford County, we're going to have to watch you closely for our severe thunderstorm. But I would be more concerned for Crawford County for this storm right in here, moving towards the English area, maybe the Marengo area if it holds on in intensity. Leavenworth, Indiana, we're going to have to watch you guys pretty close as well. Does have a special weather statement on it. Just for some reason, it is not showing up or populating on my radar. It is currently statemented for half-inch hail. However, based on recent radar trends, I would not be surprised to see a few quarters reaching in there to the ground. If any of you live in this area and see hail or have any damage or anything like that and want to let us know, feel free to leave that in the comment section and let us know below. That helps us out quite a bit in knowing what the radar shows versus what is actually occurring on the ground. So having that information is very important to us. But the greatest risk for severe weather today, we'll go ahead and draw a line here. Um, well, we'll draw a line here we'll include Franklin County down to maybe the Posey County, Indiana area. If you're in these counties or areas south, especially this area right in here that I circled there has the best potential for seeing some severe weather later today. But if you're north of that area or west of that area, you guys are in the all clear today, including towns like Evansville, Jasper, and points westward. You guys are in the all clear today. Could have some rain showers moving in, but no severe weather is expected for you. Still a very healthy cell there in northern Perry County. Wouldn't be surprised to see a warning get issued on that here, as it is still showing signs of intensification. State Road 145. Hey, there we go. Oh, that's Perry again. Southern Perry. They just continued the warning. They trimmed it back. I was hoping we had a warning on that one. Leopold area. In the clear right now, but off to your west there, State Road 145 coming into the Branchville area. Could be seeing some anywhere between half-inch size hail, maybe a few quarters mixing in, and some gusty winds as well. But a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Perry County here for another 13 minutes here. Quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds is a going hazard here. Go ahead and track our hail tracker back on here to see where our hail core is at. And in fact, quarter size hail does not look to be really an issue with this severe thunderstorm warning anymore. Our hail core is showing signs of weakening, and we actually had a little bit of a split here, which is good. It's what you want to see here in this case for a little bit of a weakening trend. Turn back our winds here because we did have a pretty healthy gust run here. Winds is still deserving of a warning here. Very strong pocket of winds here moving in the sunny quarter. Tobinsport, Indiana, and Cloverport, Kentucky, just passed through Dukes. Nice pocket there of some strong winds, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour, moving into extreme portions of southern Perry County. South of Tell City, going to come close to the Rome, Indiana area, and then off towards Union Star and Mystic, Kentucky. But pretty strong gust front here, stretching right in here. Pocket of 60-mile-per-hour winds, moving off to the east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So still a pretty decent pocket there of severe winds associated with that storm. Areas just to the north, a few gusty winds there in central Perry County, but I don't see severe criteria winds associated with that. The hail size, however, is still holding its own there in Perry County. It is statemented for half-inch hail, which is 0.50, but personally I would not be surprised to see a few larger stones perhaps mixing down to the ground and not quite melting all the way in that cell. You have a really healthy updraft there in that northern Perry County cell. Areas to the west here, Richland in Spencer County, Crinsley in Spencer County. If you are west of US 231, you guys are in the clear here for likely today, including the Huntingburg area. Have a little bit of a shower and thunderstorm moving over right now. No hail associated with it, just some fat raindrops. But if you're west of, if you're in this area and points westward, you guys are in the clear. Still have a little bit of a rain shower here, but just looks like some raindrops on radar. Nothing that really indicates hail. And that guy, that is not the case. A little bit further to the south and east in Perry County, outside the St. Menard area, or Menard area, or Minrad area. If I've been saying it wrong this whole time, I apologize. This storm is moving towards the Laventworth area at about 30 miles per hour. Go ahead and turn our velocity back on here to take a look to see what our winds are doing. Still some strong winds here. Moving into southern Perry County, extreme southern Perry County, between the Candleton area, Addison area, and points southward, getting a nice pocket of strong winds there. Moving into town, areas just to the north there near the Leopold area, some gusty winds associated with our thunderstorms to the north here, but do appear to be subsevere at this point in time. The strongest winds, though, associated with our severe thunderstorm warning right now are actually near the Tobinsport area in extreme southern Indiana. Just the little nudge here in Perry County, Indiana. Just a little peninsula here near the Tobinsport area, coming into the Hardinsburg, Kentucky area. Doesn't look that much on radar, but it is still showing signs of some pretty strong winds there associated with this thunderstorm as well. The severe thunderstorm warning does continue for another 10 minutes here, or until 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, for this severe thunderstorm warning in extreme southern Indiana. Outside the area here today, not really a lot going on. We're pretty quiet across 90% of Indiana today. Partly cloudy skies across the majority of the state here. Could have a few showers moving in later tonight, but no severe weather is expected later tonight. So this is our main round here today, mainly for counties along the Ohio River, between Perry County, Indiana, and perhaps Ohio and Dearborn County, Indiana, outside the Cincinnati area. So that zone right in there really has the best chance of seeing some severe weather today, and that is where our severe thunderstorm watch is currently in effect until later this evening. Winds up to 70 mile per hour possible, as well as isolated cases of ping pong ball size hail. Also, not out of the question here, which is an inch and a half diameter. Not out of the question in some of our stronger storms or updrafts here later this afternoon. We have some other storms firing out ahead of our storm that was currently severe warned. Currently not severe at this point in time, but they are close, especially the one in northern Perry County, kind of borderline severe. But we have some really strong wind gusts here moving through southern Perry County, going to go really close to Rome, Indiana, and Union Star, Kentucky, before potentially coming back into Harrison County, Indiana, here in a little bit if it holds its intensity. Towns such as Muckport, State Road 135 towards Elizabeth, could get in on some thunderstorm action here, or perhaps some severe weather if these storms maintain their intensity heading into Harrison County, Indiana. Go ahead and turn our hail tracker back on here for our severe thunderstorms here. The good news is our updrafts have weakened here across the board here. Strongest storms currently updraft wise near the Hardinsburg area, and perhaps northern Perry County getting into some smaller hail, but the hail size looks to have decreased a little bit here, at least according to our updrafts here. They've weakened a little bit, getting a little more messier on radar, which is good, what you want to see. But we still have some pretty strong damaging winds to talk about here in southern Perry County. Moving out of southern Perry County now, moving just south of Addison, Kentucky. Going to move pretty close to the Rome, Indiana area. Going to come pretty close to you as it moves towards Union Star, Mystic, and Hardinsburg, Kentucky here in the next few minutes. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for 7 minutes here 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. We're going to have to watch southern Harrison County, Indiana, for that strong winds if they do continue and maintain themselves across northern Kentucky and back into Indiana. But currently, the strongest winds, I'll circle them for you right in here, right where you see those brighter greens, moving to the east northeast at around 30 miles per hour. Perhaps some wind gusts there to 60 miles per hour, especially we see the really bright greens there, almost a neon green there. That is where we have our strongest winds right in here. This is crossing 144 US 60, 2779 coming into Sample, Mystic, Union Star, eventually perhaps into southern Harrison County as it's now leaving Perry County, Indiana for the strongest winds. Have some pretty heavy rainfall moving into Perry County, both from north and to south here. That's going to be another hazard here today across southern Indiana is the rainfall. Could have some minor hydrologic effects here from ponding, maybe some isolated flooding in the way of urban ponding. If there's any tree debris or leaf debris or any obstructions on your local street drains, that could prohibit them from draining and carrying water away efficiently. So do check those periodically and make sure they are cleaned out to allow any rainfall that does fall to be drained off efficiently. But we are still seeing a nice pocket of pretty strong winds here. Moving out of Perry County, Indiana, going to go just to the south of Crawfords County, staying in Indiana or in northern Kentucky before potentially moving into Harrison County, Indiana. State Road 135, State Road 11, outside of Brandenburg, Kentucky there. So the severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for another 5 minutes here. We'll see if they reissue that or not. But the hail size has decreased in all of these storms, now mainly a wind threat and heavy rain threat here. Could have some small hail, perhaps maybe some pea-size hail, up to maybe some dime-size hail, but nothing too significant seen here on radar in terms of hail. Nothing like we once saw a little bit ago. But our severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for 4 minutes here. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds here. The strongest portion of the storm is actually south of Tell City. The strongest winds moving out of Perry County, Indiana, but we could have some small hail moving into southern Perry County, maybe some pea-size hail at best there with that storm. Really, the winds is the strongest portion of that storm at this present time. Go ahead and turn those back on here. Here we go. See a nice little gust front on it there, just to the north of US 60, south of Perry County, basically from the Ohio River to US 60, moving east towards the Irvington area, Brandenburg area, and potentially moving back into southern Harrison County, Indiana. We'll have to see if they reissue a warning on this storm or not, as this warning does expire in 3 minutes. So we'll have to see what the National Weather Service feels on this storm. Is it meeting the expectations as a severe thunderstorm, or is it just fallen shy of meeting that criteria? That is something the National Weather Service is trying to figure out right now ahead of this storm. But this is our only severe thunderstorm warning in effect here in Indiana at this current time. But a special weather statement does still remain, though, for Crawfords County and northern portions of Perry County for 17 minutes here. Winds of 40 miles per hour and half-inch hail. That is associated with this storm right up here near the Leopold area. Moving into southern Crawfords County, we have a couple little storms firing up there. Go ahead and turn on our updrafts here. Just get a look at those. Still the strongest cell right in here. We're going to have to watch this little guy, though, near the Wycliffe area. Could see some strengthening in its updraft there briefly. But right now, the strongest cell is still in northern Perry County there. Special weather statement for 16 more minutes here. Hail up to half-inch and 40-mile-per-hour winds are associated with this storm. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for another 2 minutes here. They may be letting this expire 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. I definitely don't see quarter-size hail anymore as an issue here with this storm. There could still be some gusty winds that are associated with it. As we turn on our our velocity here, a nice pocket of some strong winds there in northern Kentucky, just south of the Ohio River in portions of northern Kentucky. We're going to have to watch this pretty closely as it moves back into Harrison County, Indiana. A pretty decent hail core, though, just south of Perry County, right in here, associated with this cell near the Union Star area, coming into the Raymond area in northern Kentucky, coming close to the Brandenburg, Kentucky area, on its way to Perry County. Could have showing signs of some decent hail within that cell as well. A lot of these storms have hail associated with them. Not all of them are meeting severe criteria for hail. A lot of them are small in nature, between pea, nickel size, and some half-inch hail associated with them as well. So do keep that in mind if you're traveling down here or live in this area. Watch out for heavy rainfall, some torrential at times, and some small hailstones as well. And our severe thunderstorm warning just expired just now. We are down to special weather statements for Crawford County and Perry County. So they are going to let this expire. So some of these stronger winds, maybe kind of playing with the radar a little bit, as some of the stronger winds are in this area called clear air, which that can actually play a trick on the radar as well, and thinking there's some stronger winds there that may not quite be as strong as what is being depicted by radar. And there's our special weather statement for Perry County and Harrison County for 30 more minutes here until 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Wind gusts to 50 miles per hour and half-inch hail. So this is not a severe thunderstorm, but it is a strong thunderstorm nonetheless. 50-mile-per-hour winds is enough to blow loose objects around, such as patio furnishings, trash cans, etc. It can blow those around pretty efficiently. So if you have any of those objects outside, make sure they're tied down, secure, or in a safe place to prevent them from blowing. Did a severe thunderstorm warning just get issued, Ryan? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm talking with Ryan, who is behind the scenes doing a lot of the technical work here behind the scenes, asking what is going on with our warning bar yet. Is usually it's pretty timed in sync with the radar here. A lot of times it alerts you on the screen at the same time, or just a few seconds off from when we see the warnings pop up on radar. But for some reason, it's acting a little crazy today, which is okay. But right now, I don't see a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Indiana, for Perry County, as these storms don't quite look to be severe criteria in Perry County or Crawford County at this point in time. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, we're going to manually override that, and we're going to make it back down here to an SWS, just so we don't have any confusion.
Yeah, he's going to put that special weather statement back on there for you. We currently don't have a severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana. The strongest storm, though, for that gust front there, just south of Perry County and even in Perry County as well, going to be moving through portions of northern Kentucky and back into Harrison County, Indiana, perhaps far southern Crawford County. We do still have that special weather statement up here, but for some reason, this shows up on my radar, but this one does not show up on my radar for whatever reason. It could just be how they're issued, but there is a special weather statement for Crawford and Northern Perry and for another 12 minutes here. So about 3:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for this special weather statement for hail to half-inch and winds to 40 miles per hour. That's Northern Perry, Southern Crawford County, Western Crawford County, and then Southern Crawford County in a special weather statement for this storm here moving northeast. I believe it's still 30 miles per hour. Go ahead and see if they put a motion on that. They did not. Last speed check I had was moving east-northeast at 30 miles per hour, so that's what we'll go with there on that storm. Still showing some decent hail core around Union Star, Kentucky, Mystic, Kentucky. 259 here, moving towards 144. eventually into southern Harrison County near the Brandenburg area, if it still holds together there. But have some other sporadic hail cores there in Perry County, and even one right up in here in Du Bois County, moving towards Crawford County, south of State Road 164, south the reservoir there. Could have some pea-sized hail in that one. But currently, these storms are sub-severe at this point in time, but we do have a severe thunderstorm watch still in effect for a few more hours here this evening. That severe thunderstorm watch does include counties in southeast Indiana for ping pong ball size hail and sporadic wind gusts to 70 miles per hour possible within and around the watch area. And greatest risk for severe weather today, go ahead and turn it back onto one screen here. You can see Ohio is really busy right now with multiple severe thunderstorm warnings for hail and a lot of special weather statements as well. Really, really busy day for our neighbors to the west there in Ohio. Or to the east there in Ohio. Sorry, not Illinois. Illinois is actually not at risk today. But we may have another special weather statement coming in here or getting issued here for perhaps southern Indiana. We'll take a look at that here as it comes in and as it loads in here. If it's a new statement or a current statement getting trimmed back, we'll have to take a look at that. Oh, Ryan just informed me it's an old statement. So some of the statements are not loading in as efficiently today for some reason. Could just be equipment issues here today associated with that.
Seems like there's an issue with NWS products as the past couple of days where some load in properly, others don't really load at all. So I think our alert bar is going to be confused, and also the radar products are getting confused. I think there's something going on the back end that's not pushing all the way through.
Maybe an AWIPS issue there for some reason.
Perhaps.
But currently no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in Indiana. We do have a couple strong thunderstorms, though, producing some small hail and gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour is what these statements are for. Currently the one for Perry County, southern Crawford County, and southern Harrison County, 50 mile per hour winds, half-inch hail. And then this one right up in here that you can't see on my screen, but I'll draw it out here for you. Think like right here, to here, to here. This statement is in effect for another few minutes here, 8 minutes for half-inch hail and 40 miles per hour. That's for Crawford County, Perry County, Indiana. Does include a sliver up here in Du Bois County, but mainly for Perry and Crawford County. You can see a lot of these individual little blips here. This is on our hail product here, or updraft product. We use it to look for hail cores within these thunderstorms. You can see how these individual blips are here that correlate with our area of heavy rain here. All of those updrafts are capable of producing hail up to about a half-inch in diameter, subsevere at this point in time. We're going to have to keep an eye on them for any forms of intensification. But right now, small hail, gusty winds is the biggest threat here with these showers and thunderstorms. The strongest storm right now is actually in northern Kentucky, just south of just south of Perry County. I'm going to be moving into Harrison County here. Has a nice gust front associated with that storm and some half-inch hail. According to our velocity here, a little bit weaker here on the latest scan, but you can see our gust front here, right in here, moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour, winds of 50 miles per hour in these areas of brighter green, moving off to the east, northeast at 30 miles per hour. For reference on where our severe thunderstorm watch is, I'll go ahead and I'll pull that up here on the screen here for you to show you that. Let me toggle it on here. Our severe thunderstorm watch areas in pink here. So areas from right here, south and east of this line here. So Ohio, Switzerland counties, and then counties that border the Ohio River here, such as Jefferson County. Scott County is not included in that severe thunderstorm watch, but we have Clark, Floyd, Harrison, Crawford, Perry, all under a severe thunderstorm watch. And this watch is in effect for another 5 hours and 52 minutes here until 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Primary threats: scattered damage, wind gusts to 70 miles per hour, and scattered large hail events to ping pong ball size hail, 1.5-inch diameter, possible here for southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. And this severe thunderstorm watch actually extends from nearly the Gulf of Mexico all the way down here to Austin, Texas, all the way up to Cleveland, Ohio. So we're talking a very expansive watch here. And in fact, let's do something fun here. Why isn't it letting me do it? Okay, Radar Omega is just acting weird today. But if we go all the way up here, down here from Cleveland to Austin, Texas, we're over about 1,300 miles worth of severe thunderstorm watches here across the region, which is quite impressive here. When you think about it, severe thunderstorm watch continuously from Cleveland, Ohio to Austin, Texas, about 1,300 miles long. So pretty crazy here when you think about it. Paoli, Indiana, you guys are in the clear. Have some storms to the south, but no severe weather expected for you or Salem, Indiana today. Ryan's doing some official measuring behind the scenes, and he says it's actually a little over 1,400 miles long. Worth of severe thunderstorm watches. Pretty expansive, though. One of the longest sets of severe thunderstorm watches we've had this year. So pretty crazy when you think about it. But currently no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here in Indiana. And I'll go ahead and toggle that severe thunderstorm watch off of here. That way we can see the warnings and county lines pop in here a little bit better for you guys. But currently the strongest thunderstorm is in northern Kentucky, moving into southern Harrison County. We have a couple stronger storms that are not severe across Perry County, Crawford County, as well. Orange County, you guys are in the clear. However, southern Orange County, maybe south of Paoli, could get on a stronger storm or two. But severe weather gets really less expansive the further north you go. I really don't expect any severe weather up in these areas here from Bedford, Seymour. I really don't expect anything up there, Ryan, at all.
Yeah, Caleb, the only thing that I really see keeping an eye on here is that cell that's riding the Crawford County and Perry County line near Leavenworth, heading toward Leavenworth. That one has a nice core on it, up to about 23,000 feet. That would be a concern for me for some larger hail there heading toward Leavenworth.
Yep, and we're seeing that on reflectivity too, and even a little bit of a gust front on it too, Ryan. You can see there on the leading edge. That's in southern Crawford County, going to be moving into Harrison County. Go ahead and turn our updraft back on to take a look at the hail core associated on that. And you can see where that has actually intensified here. If I press play, you'll see the others weaken, but this one intensify. Just in the last few minutes here, that's that updraft maturing a little bit, becoming a little bit more intense. So we could see some hailstones in there, perhaps maybe up the nickel size right now. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that pretty close for intensification that occurs within it as well. We kind of have more sporadic updrafts right now, Ryan. These storms are having a harder time really organizing into a main complex that was projected on guidance earlier and even last night.
Yeah, at
least for right now.
Yeah, last night we had a pretty good signal that we're going to have like a organized line kind of push through the bottom one or two counties, tier counties in Indiana. And this, as of right now, as Caleb just mentioned, it looks to be pretty unorganized. I mean, it's not unorganized, but it's not a line. They're kind of sporadic cells all throughout here. I also want to mention this, as Caleb just said as well, looking at the wind velocities here on this particular cell we just mentioned on the Crawford County, Perry County line. This is your wind. You can see the increase there over the past couple of scans. We're getting an increase of velocity here heading up in toward the Leavenworth area. We'll keep a close eye on this here. Wouldn't be shocked to get a warning issued on this particular cell as it crosses close to Leavenworth and into the Corydon area eventually.
Yep. Likely a really intense downburst occurring in that storm, as well as that updraft intensifies. Your downdraft also intensifies with that core, and you could have some gusty winds coming down to the ground. Some decent hailstones indicated on radar, maybe nickel size. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few quarters mixing down to the ground either, Ryan, within that cell.
No, I wouldn't either. In fact, the last scan even just got more impressive on it. We have a couple areas of close to 70 dBz there at about 1,000 feet. If I were to go up in height, that is a nice core. As we explain a lot of times here, we keep an eye on the height of the storm here. So the lowest scan of the ground is most accurate for what's happening on the surface, and you can see a good hail core in there. But if I were to go up in height, this scan right here is about 1,000, about 500 feet off the ground or so. But if I go up here to tilt 4, you're going to still see that core there is still quite strong at 10,000 feet. Go even higher in the atmosphere, there's a core there at 15,000 feet. The higher you go and that core is still there, the better off that storm is likely to be strong, if not severe. That's 18,000 feet. Now we're up here at 22,000 feet. We're still getting DBZ values close to 60, which is quite impressive. So if not large hail falling, probably close to dime or nickel size at least, if not a couple quarters mixed in there. It's a very healthy cell.
Yeah, it really is. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these cells, and they'll sporadically strengthen and weaken here throughout the rest of the evening here. And another cell, Ryan, that's showing signs of intensification is just south of Orange County in northern Crawford County there, northwest Crawford County. Just south of the reservoir there, showing a nice little hail core on it. Not severe at this point in time, but strong. Could have some small hail, maybe some peas, dime-size hail mixing in there. Yep. But this cell here currently has my eye for being the strongest cell at the moment. Turning on our velocity here, you can see that gust run here associated with that cell. There's a couple gust runs here to look for. This one here in northern Kentucky, that'll be moving into southern Harrison County. And this one here, moving into the Leavenworth area, south of I-64, also will be eventually moving into central Harrison County here in the next few minutes or so. Currently, special weather statement on this for 15 more minutes here for half-inch hail and winds to 50 miles per hour. But 50-mile-per-hour winds, Ryan, is only 8 miles per hour shy of the baseline severe warning criteria for a severe thunderstorm. For a severe thunderstorm, we need 58 or greater. So 50-mile-per-hour winds is actually pretty close to a severe thunderstorm warning here. You can see this core here on this thunderstorm. Go ahead and draw it out here for you. Red is not the best color for that one. I apologize. Let me switch colors here. Let's go to
do white. It's easier to see white.
Yeah, we'll go white. That'll work out for you. Right in here, maybe a little bit of weakening there in that latest scan, but still a pretty healthy core there on that storm. As it moves towards the Leavenworth area, Wyandotte area, Corydon area, State Road 135 south of 64 here. But still a pretty decent gust run here heading into the Leavenworth area. And this storm is likely moving off to the east-northeast at probably around 30 miles per hour or so. That seems to be the going rate here today for these thunderstorms.
Yeah, on that storm as well, I'm getting 52 miles per hour on velocity at about 1,600 feet. So it's quite gusty there. Actually, latest scan even intensifies. It kind of expands just a bit there as it's about to cross the Ohio River back into Kentucky for a brief second, then back into Indiana. In fact, there's our warning. Just issued.
There's our severe thunderstorm warning for it. And that is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here. And that is for... Actually, they extended that quite a ways.
Yeah, they did.
This is for Harrison County and central Indiana, Crawford County, as well as Floyd County, getting in on the action as well for this severe thunderstorm warning. Just a sliver of Floyd County here. They did include you guys on it, just to give you guys in Georgetown a heads up that the storm is heading in your direction. We're going to see how it tracks, though, across Harrison County. Harrison's a pretty big county. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this storm to see how it tracks as it leaves Crawford County into Harrison County here in southern Indiana. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for 43 minutes here, or until 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and still moving east. It's pretty slow, 30 miles per hour is all the faster this storm is moving here. So these storm speeds, Ryan, haven't been very impressive either. Been moving pretty slow.
Yeah, pretty slow today, considering.
Yeah.
Although it's not surprising because we do have a lack of wind shear out there to drive these storms and get the
really
motor and get them to go. So overall, not surprising on that. So we'll have to keep an eye on these, though. They're gonna kind of meander through the bottom half of the state here, toward the Ohio River, toward the Kentucky border. If you're not really in the bottom tier or 2 of counties in Indiana, there's no threat for severe weather for you today. So if you're watching up in Indianapolis or, Gary, Fort Wayne, Terre Haute areas, there ain't nothing coming to you. This is going to be very, very strictly tied to the very bottom row of counties here in Indiana. So we're going to watch this. It's probably going to be a few hours before we can clear the state out from these storms. So we'll be here live tracking them as they come through. As long as they're close to severe or borderline to severe, we'll be here live.
Yep. So again, areas along and south of this line here, we're gonna have to keep an eye on you for severe weather, basically from Ohio, Switzerland, maybe Dearborn County, all the way over to Harrison County, where we're at now, Crawford County. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you guys. But if you're north of this line here, you guys are a-okay today. Enjoy the partly cloudy skies. Some rain showers though. Back here across Illinois, we'll be moving in to the state here today. But other than that, not really a whole lot going on here behind this line. Other than some cooling temperatures and a steady light rain moving back into the region. Maybe a rumble of thunder too, but no severe weather is expected behind this line or north of this line of storms here in southern Indiana. One severe thunderstorm warning in effect here. Once again, this is for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds till 4 o'clock Eastern. This is for Harrison County, Crawford, and extreme southwestern Floyd County in central Indiana, as well as Meade County and Kentucky for our neighbors to the south. Also in effect here as well for northern Meade County, for extreme northern Meade County, just as our warnings are for extreme southern Indiana. Extreme northern Meade County also included in the warning here.
That warning, Caleb, is 30 miles in length. They extend that out pretty far here. So
yeah, I honestly didn't expect Floyd County to get included in that. I was kind of surprised.
Mm-hmm. If we're going at about 30 or so miles per hour, it's going to take about an hour to get through this entire warning box. So we'll see if they will let that, as Caleb does a track here for you, we'll see if they let this continue through. Kind of bold on them, actually, to go that long in the warning. So interesting enough. But overall, the storm is quite strong in nature. It is looking severe still on radar. And again, it's about to move into the Leavenworth area. Basically going to ride that Kentucky and Indiana border all the way up to Harrison County through Corydon. If it continues, Lanesville, and toward that Floyd County area toward New Albany.
Yep, we got Corydon here in about 28 minutes or so, in Georgetown 50 minutes until it gets to you, and that is thanks to our slow storm movement here associated with this thunderstorm. Go ahead and turn on back our dual screen here and let that load here. So here's our gust front here coming in just to the south of the Wyandotte area for the strongest winds now associated with our core here. You can see that here on this boat out front here. Right in here, you can see the strongest winds being ejected out ahead of this line. Right in here, coming into the Harrison County, Indiana area. Wyandotte, you're on the northern edge of the strongest gust front, but could still see some gusty winds up in here, with the strongest winds here to the south, crossing the Ohio River twice here as it comes into southern Indiana once again. As we turn on our hail core here, let's turn on our VIL here to look at our hail tracker here. Pretty decent hail coming to the Leavenworth area. Could be getting some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. But the strongest hail core is on the northern side of the storm, with the strongest winds on the southern side of the storm. So while Wyandotte may not get the strongest winds, you may get some hail, upwards of quarter-size hail in 1-inch diameter. This warning is in effect here for another 38 minutes here. So quite a ways to go here, or until 4 o'clock Eastern time, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour here. Going to get to the Georgetown area now for another 45 minutes or so before you see some of this rain here reach Georgetown or southern Floyd County, Indiana. So got a little ways to go here, but we're also watching some gusty winds in southern Harrison County as well. Special weather statement for those of you guys who are not in the severe thunderstorm warning for southern Harrison County. Has a decent little gust front coming into the Brandyburg area. Right in here is this gust front here for Storm 1. And then Storm 2 right in here is gust front number 2, which is severe warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and a quarter-size hail. Strongest hail core just on the south side of Leavenworth coming into town. Fredonia area getting in on some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as this crosses into extreme northern Meade County, Kentucky, and into Harrison County, Indiana. Along and south of I-64 approaching State Road 135 is the corridor of concern right now at this point in time. If you are inside of this severe thunderstorm warning, take shelter inside of a sturdy structure away from windows and exterior walls. Hunker down until this storm has passed. Don't place yourself near an exterior wall or a window as you place yourself at risk for flying debris. Areas behind the storm, though, if you are in, let's say, Perry County, Indiana, you guys are officially in the clear here and likely in the clear for the day here. If you are in Perry County, Indiana, your threat has ended. Just some light rain for you, likely getting a break in the rain before some more rain moves in later on here this afternoon. Gonna have to watch for a few pop-up storms here, but likely no severe weather will be seen here behind this main line of storms here. Pretty strong storm here, though, coming into central Harrison County, moving towards the Corydon area, along and south of I-64 towards the Georgetown area in Floyd County. So if you have any friends in Louisville, Kentucky, or areas surrounding, let them know you have a couple strong thunderstorms off to your west. In about 40 minutes or so, they'll be moving on into town. And a pretty strong gust front to watch for southern Harrison County as well, Ryan. Some increased velocities down here near the Brandenburg, Kentucky, on this little boat out front here as well. Gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, as these push their way eastward here, I would not be shocked to see additional warnings issued throughout the afternoon. They're not going to be, I wouldn't say it's going to be a widespread event, but sporadic, downburst or gusty winds here, and perhaps some brief instances of large hail will be the main case here. So again, not going to be a widespread threat, but still a threat we're going to probably see a few more warnings out of before it's out of the state completely.
Yep, and this is mainly for counties across extreme southern Indiana, right along the Ohio River. If you're not in a county right along the Ohio River, you guys don't have a risk today for severe weather or thunderstorms, really. This is mainly for areas, if I draw a line here, right in here. Think like Dearborn County, Ohio, Switzerland counties, all the way down to Harrison County here where a warning is now. And a little bit of Crawford County, still getting some storms in Orange and Crawford right now. But if you're not in that white box there, you guys are in the smiley face. You guys are okay here for the day. No severe weather expected for you guys at all. So Bloomington, Columbus, Jasper, Evansville, you guys are all in the clear here today. Could have some showers moving in, though, later this afternoon and into tonight. More getting concerned for a damaging wind risk here associated with this boat out front. I'm starting to get a little more organized in terms of a damaging wind threat associated with this. Wouldn't be surprised to see additional warnings issued a little bit further south. As we turn on our hail tracker here associated with this, get a look at our updraft here. A couple little hail cores there in Meade County there, moving toward the Brandenburg area in Kentucky, with still a decent hail core here coming into the Wyandotte area, White Cloud area, Dixie perhaps, coming out of Meade County, southern Crawford County, and into west central Harrison County and southern Indiana. The severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 34 minutes yet to go. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here associated within this orange polygon here on your screen. The storm is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. And a couple different hail cores, decent hail cores up here to the north in Orange County as well, getting some small hail, maybe some pea-sized hail, and heavy downpours associated with those. Some lightning noted on radar as well for some of those showers and thunderstorms. Back to our wind velocity here. You can see a pretty decent gust right here, stretching from Meade County into southern Harrison County and into central Harrison County as well. But the strongest winds right here and right here, getting in on some pretty strong winds here. And our radar station is actually right here. So what we're seeing here is likely occurring on the ground, if not just a couple hundred feet above the ground. As our radar beam is very low here at this location. We're getting a very good look here at these storms thanks to our radar being in close proximity to these storms. We're getting a very healthy look here at what is actually going on here with our severe thunderstorm here in Harrison County, Indiana. Our severe thunderstorm is currently moving out of Crawford County, Indiana, still getting some very heavy rainfall in extreme southeastern Crawford County and some gusty winds, quarter-size hail, with a few scattered thunderstorms in northern Crawford, southern Orange County, but these are not severe at this point in time. This line of storms is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour.
Caleb, I'm kind of surprised that there's no warning on that cell just across the border near Ekron, heading toward the Lick
I am
Skillet.
too.
That is quite a potent gust front there, moving off to the east-northeast here. It may brush the very far southern tip of Harrison County. Most of it looks to be staying south of the border, but areas near West Point, basically just on the Kentucky border here. Is there any towns here? Evans Landing, New Boston, Rosewood areas around State Route 111. Could get gusty there for a second. No warning in effect as of yet. We'll see if they put one on it. Again, gust up to 60 look very possible in that line. I would not be shocked to see another yellow box on our screen here momentarily.
Yeah. Likely for southeastern Meade County, Kentucky, and then the tip of Harrison County here for this gust front. Right in here, just southeast of Brandonsburg, likely moving, likely moving this way at about 30 miles an hour. So likely going to graze the Ohio River here between Perry and Meade County, Kentucky, moving over to the West Point area, Elizabeth area, Valley Station as well. Pretty potent gust front, really. When you think about your radars right here, you're really looking at a cross section of maybe 100 feet off the ground here in this location. So the winds that you see here on radar are likely occurring on the ground at this point in time, being this close to the radar itself. So something to keep an eye on for sure. As we look at our hail tracker here, sometimes we don't get the best look being this close to the radar, but we are seeing a couple hail cores developing outside the Lick Skillet area, Ekron, Kentucky area, Brandenburg area, and Irvington, Kentucky, and Meade County. And these are also moving. And there's the special weather statement for 45 minutes, winds to 50 miles per hour. I have to see how that changes as the gust front moves over the National Weather Service in Louisville, Kentucky. They'll sample that and get some really good data from it as it moves over their WFO there. So
yeah, Caleb, I'm getting very potent wind gusts here, 58 at 500 feet in a very wide swath there. I'm honestly kind of surprised they went a statement instead of a warning. It looks a little bit different on GR2. I'm going to share my screen here. I think you. What time's your scan there?
My scan here is at 328.
Interesting. Mine is too. I'll show you what mine looks like here. Pop mine on here real quick. So there's mine, and it looks pretty wide here as it moves toward the Louisville radar. So this whole pocket you see in the bright white area, that is your pocket of 58 to 60 mile per hour winds here, moving right toward the Louisville radar. It really has increased here over the past couple of scans.
Yeah, we'll get a pretty good look at it here as it moves over their office as well. So, and we may see a warning after they realize what those winds are doing. But if they're not reaching the ground, we likely won't see a warning for that storm. Still one severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here in Indiana. This is for extreme western and southwestern Floyd County, Harrison County. We'll likely get trimmed out of Crawford County here in the next 10 minutes. This is for until 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for another 29 minutes here. Quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds here. Impacting areas such as the Corydon area, areas along and south of I-64, moving towards the Georgetown area as well. We'll likely cross 64 here in a few minutes as well for the hail core near Wyandotte, coming near White Cloud, just to the south of Moberly, Indiana. So anybody in this area, Crandale, Corydon, heads up for quarter-size hail, as well as perhaps 60 mile per hour winds. But you can see a pretty expansive gust front here. Reaching near really Elizabethtown, Kentucky, all the way up to I-64 there. That's your gust front there. You can really see the brighter colors there as the storm moves off to the east here at 30 miles per hour. But this is your pretty expansive gust front here as all of this moves off to the east at 30 miles per hour towards the Louisville area, Jeffersontown, Kentucky, Mount Washington, Kentucky, as well as Harrison County, getting into Floyd County as well here in the next few minutes or so. Gonna have to watch Clark County downstream here to get a look at that. And they did just trim back that severe thunderstorm warning out of Perry County, or not Perry, out of Crawford County, Indiana. Now is just solely in effect for Harrison County and southwestern Floyd County, Indiana, until 4 o'clock here. They kept the hazards at 1 inch and 60-mile-per-hour winds here associated with that storm. And some pretty gusty winds here, moving into extreme southern Harrison County. Special weather statement on it for 50-mile-per-hour winds, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a few stronger gusts reaching in closer down to the ground here in southern Harrison County, moving towards the Louisville radar here in the next few minutes. But if you're in Corydon, Indiana, be ready for 60-mile-per-hour winds, perhaps, and some quarter-size hail within that thunderstorm there. That is our only severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana at this point in time. I got a couple stronger storms to your north here. Orange County, just south of Paoli, but these are not severe at this point in time. Go ahead and turn hail tracker on, just take a look at those. Yeah, maybe some pea-size hail south of Paoli, but nothing that signifies a strong tornado or a strong thunderstorm at that point in time, or a severe thunderstorm at this moment. Back to our velocity here. You can see our gust front there on the leading edge of the storm, crossing State Road 35 in Harrison County, coming up to State Road 11. Getting ready to move into the Corydon area here in the next 5-10 minutes here. Still probably about a half an hour away from Georgetown, and probably 45 minutes away from the Louisville area. These storms aren't moving very fast. Only at about 30 miles per hour to the east here. So pretty slow movers here, but could have some torrential rainfall in these storms as well. So if you're out on the road, I-64, watch out for some ponding and some minor hydrologic concerns here until these storms has moved over your area. But severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Harrison County and Floyd County until 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here associated with this thunderstorm. We do have a special weather statement for areas in blue, south of our orange bar. A few stronger winds mixing down to the ground. Wouldn't be surprised to see that as it gets ready to move over the radar. As we look around the region, though, we're pretty quiet elsewhere. Nothing really going on anywhere else in the state of Indiana. This is extreme southern Indiana. We do have some rain getting ready to move into portions of the southwest and western Indiana, but no severe weather with this system. There's just going to be some light rain, some dreary weather here this evening, but nothing severe at this point in time. This is only for extreme southern Indiana, right along the Ohio River. Ohio, though, is really busy right now with severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from Cleveland all the way down to south central Ohio here. So if you have anybody in Ohio, from Columbus, Indiana to Cleveland and points westward, make sure they are staying weather aware today, as are individuals here along the Ohio River. Ohio, Switzerland County, all the way down to Harrison County here. Make sure we are staying weather aware today in this zone right in here. Has the best potential for seeing some severe weather here today. The storm is moving into Corydon, Indiana right now. Gust front getting ready to come through. Could have some heavy rain as well as some quarter-size hail. As we turn on our hail tracker here, you can see the gust front there in green on the velocities. Our hail tracker here, strongest hail core gonna pass just to the north of Corydon, near the Wyandotte area, approaching State Road 135, right on I-64 here. But right now, the hail core itself looks sub-severe at this point in time, but we do have some gusty winds here associated with this thunderstorm. And that's what we're seeing here all up and down this line, from Corydon all the way down to even Elizabethtown, getting in on some action down there on some gusty winds here with this thunderstorm. The strongest winds are getting ready to move over the Louisville National Weather Service. Going to move over their weather forecasting office, their WFO here, here momentarily. So we'll get a pretty good look here what the winds are doing down there as they are able to sample those as the storm blows over their location. Elsewhere across the region, got a couple stronger cells up here. Excuse me. northwestern Crawford County and southern Orange County. Sub-severe at this point in time, but could have maybe some pea-sized hail and heavy downpours with those. Not too concerning at this point in time. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for Harrison and Floyd County for another 22 minutes here at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and a special weather statement for southern Harrison County. But I wouldn't expect to see a few gusty winds here, maybe a little bit stronger than what the statement is for here for southern Harrison County, especially in that little boat out segment there. Could have some strong winds there associated with this thunderstorm. So if anyone is watching from this area, and be sure to tell us what you see, what is going on. Love to see your reports here with this. Your reports help us out by verifying what is occurring or what is not occurring based on what we see on radar. Orange County, no severe weather expected for you, but do have a couple thunderstorms in your vicinity, but they are not severe at this point in time. Our only severe weather is expected to be east and southeast of Orange County today. Could have some heavy downpours though up there, maybe some pea-sized hail, but severe weather is not expected up there. We'll have to watch those storms as they could be strong, but no severe weather. You can see the leading edge here of our gust front moving into the Corydon area, move right along I-64, eventually making it towards the New Albany area as well. But the strongest gust front moving into Corydon right now. We actually have a view in Corydon right now of the gust front coming through. You can see the camera shaking a little bit. You can see the tree blowing there in the background as cars are traveling here, and the rain is starting to fall on the freeway here. So some gusty winds moving into Corydon right now. That camera is shaking pretty good as the gust front moves into town here. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. They likely measured the winds at the Louisville office there. I figured that was going to happen. Severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail for southern Harrison County now, and extreme southern Floyd County here for this squall line here. Not surprised to see that. I figured they were going to warn it based on what radar was doing. They just may have needed a little bit more confidence than what radar was showing there. And sometimes that happens, and that's okay. Back to look at Harrison County here in Corydon, Indiana. You can see the camera still shaking there. If you look really close, you can see the tree limbs there blowing pretty good there in the background. And even the trees here under the near the overpass here bending over and blowing pretty good here. So pretty strong thunderstorm here moving through Corydon, Indiana here, shaking the camera, and some heavy downpours associated with it as well. That's thanks to NDOT Transportation Cam there, doing a good job helping us out with seeing what the weather is doing. But here's a gust front right in here coming through Corydon right now, as we can see on the camera there, moving towards the Georgetown area as well as Cheverly, Kentucky, Louisville in a severe thunderstorm warning now. Does not include northern or eastern Floyd County yet. We could see some warnings extended your direction towards the Clarksville area and Sellersburg area, but we're just going to have to see how this storm complex holds together as it moves into your direction. And that would include Clark County there. Going to have to keep an eye on you as the storm moves in your location. You got warnings to your south and west of you, but you are currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning. Just have to see how this trends in your direction. As we hit play here, you can kind of see the gust front move along here, along these lines of showers and thunderstorms along I-64 towards the Ohio River Valley, just north of Radcliffe, Kentucky, moving towards the Louisville area. Turn our hail tracker here associated with this. A couple different hail cores, one in associated with this cell here, southern Harrison County, coming near the Macedonia area, just south of Rehoboth and Elizabeth here. I'm going to be coming near the Evans Landing areas a little bit north, but Macedonia right in line for some small hail there. Perhaps reaching quarter size as to what this warning is for. So quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible for you guys. So if you guys are in the path of this thunderstorm, be ready for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail if you're in Harrison County Indiana, as well as extreme southern Floyd County, Indiana. This warning in effect for 17 minutes here until 4 o'clock, and this warning is in effect for another half an hour here, which puts it at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Go ahead and turn our velocity back on here to take a look at our gust front here to track it out. Let's see where it is currently located at. And starting to broaden out a little bit on the northern side of this storm, Ryan. Not really seeing the strongest winds up in here that we were seeing, but still some decent winds here coming in the southern portions of Harrison County, getting ready to move back into Kentucky. Probably some winds of 60 mile per hour there. As we saw, Ryan, they did end up issuing that severe thunderstorm warning as those winds were likely sampled at the National Weather Service's office.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. Looking at the velocity, though, it's completely over the radar currently, so we don't get a good look at that. But the good news as of right now is the gust front is below state line, but it will be moving up into the southern part of Floyd County here in the next 20 or so minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that.
We got Floyd and Clark counties on deck here if these storms are able to maintain their intensity as they head towards their direction. But we do have a camera, Ryan, in Corydon, Indiana. You can see the storm there rolling through, shaking the camera, and some heavy rain also happening there in Corydon, Indiana. This is 64 here, going underneath the bridge, and you can see the trees there blowing. Traffic moving a little slow there, thanks to the heavy rain and coming down in sheets of rain too, Ryan. Pretty heavy rainfall rates here.
Yeah, it looks pretty gusty there too. And I also want to mention the fact that we are in a position with these storms where the radar may not be getting the best look at the gust front because it's kind of vertical to it. So the winds don't look as impressive when the storms are kind of stacked, up and down the radar. Once they move a bit toward Louisville, we'll get a better idea of what the wind gusts are with this on radar. So likely strong wind gusts are occurring here throughout Harrison County as well as about to move into Floyd County momentarily.
Yep, so we could see additional warnings expanded for areas downstream. We'll have to see how these storms hold together, and we'll get a better look at radar here over the next 5-10 minutes here as these storms move a little bit further away from the radar. Being close to the radar is good, but over top of the radar, it's hard to get a good interpretation of what is going on near term. Radar does a really good job looking at storms from the side, but not in the vertical. Radar doesn't look up, straight up.
Yeah, so. I also want to mention the Orange County cell. It is looking like it is intensifying, but overall does not appear to be severe at this point. The core of that storm does not really impress me past 20,000 feet or so. It's actually quite weak on the Evansville radar, so not quite severe there in Orange County, but likely a good thunderstorm going on there near Paoli, but not severe.
Yeah, and here's a look at this storm, Ryan, here on the Evansville's radar, maybe showing some hail aloft in it for southern Harrison County. We'll get a better look at it here as it moves into Kentucky here, but could have some quarter-sized hail just south of Elizabeth here, State Road 11 in southern Harrison County.
Yeah, looking at the storm right by the Louisville radar, the highest tilt I have only goes up to about 10,000 feet. It's a very healthy core at 10,000 feet, so likely a lot of heavy rain and probably some hail embedded in there.
Also, the storm is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. Sorry, Ryan.
Hope you're good. The storm is starting to come out the other end of the radar here, and we're still at right around 45 or 50 miles an hour. So likely a good gust front here going through Harrison, about to enter to Floyd County. Downstream, Clark County would be the county that would be next in line for this, mainly for the southern part of Clark County. I don't see the northern part being impacted by this line.
No, our greatest potential for severe weather is right along the Ohio River and just a little bit north, but mainly south. So if you're in counties along the vicinity of the Ohio River, think like Ohio County, Switzerland County, Jefferson, Clark, Floyd, and Harrison. Those are the counties best at risk today for a severe thunderstorm or two. If you are elsewhere, let's say you're from like Jennings County, Jackson, in points westward and northward, you guys are actually in the clear here today. No severe weather or really any thunderstorms expected for you. Could have some rain moving in here over the next couple of hours and lingering into the next few days and into the weekend.
Getting a lot of reports of severe weather across Kentucky, but I have yet to see a confirmed gust or a hail report out of Indiana so far, at least. So let's hope that trend continues. All the severe reports have been to our neighbors in the southern part.
Zooming out here, though, Ryan, we got severe thunderstorm warnings from Texas all the way to Cleveland. That's a pretty large swath of active weather here associated with our weather system here working its way in. Upper level low sitting right in here, and that is drawing the severe weather east and northward across the region and impacting our region. There's a severe thunderstorm watch from Cleveland all the way to Austin, Texas, Ryan, which is, you said earlier, about 1,400 miles long.
Yeah, it's one of the longer ones, probably one of the longest I've seen in terms of the length of.
Yeah,
it's not too often you
year.
get those across the state like that. So a very potent environment across much of the U.S., central U.S. Today for severe storms. Actually, I can tell you guys how many are in existence. There's 33 individual severe warnings in effect right now. But a couple other things, there's 30 statements, and there's no tornado warnings in the U.S. right now. They're all severe thunderstorms. So that's good news.
And that's the main hazards here today. Do include mainly just damaging winds and some perhaps a few instances of larger hailstones today. That's the main hazards here today. Can't rule out a brief tornado, but the tornado risk is very low compared to gusty winds and hail. And now that gust front is coming out of Louisville, they're just south of Valley Station, Kentucky, Ryan, getting some pretty good winds there, just perhaps over 55 miles per hour there, just south of Valley Station. Actually, Ryan, if you look at the airport radar in Kentucky near Mount Washington, TSDF, you can see a lot better picture of the gust front here, and it likely is still severe.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You can see a very potent gust front here. In fact, let me try to turn that on here for you guys, and I'll show you what we're talking about here. Very healthy gust front here, associated with our storms here. Right in here is where the gust front is currently. Getting ready to move into actually southern Floyd County, Indiana. We'll have to see if we get a warning or a statement on that. The strongest winds, though, are actually in southern Harrison County, right in here. This is depicted by our airport radar, crossing US 31 here in Kentucky, 31W here in the Kentucky side of the river, and that is actually moving towards the Mount Washington area, Jeffersontown area, just south of Shively, Kentucky. So pretty strong winds there, Ryan, being picked up there on the airport radar.
Yeah, even on the Louisville radar, there's a pocket of 60 mile per hour winds coming off the right there in that.
Right around Macedonia, Indiana, getting in on some pretty significant winds there, probably close to 60 miles per hour, right in there. Likely moving just outside of town here, crossing US 31 here in Kentucky and crossing the river right now. Pretty healthy squall line there as well. Pretty healthy line of storms moving out and away from the Louisville radar and heading towards the probably the Holly Villa area in Kentucky, Fairdale, Kentucky, and Minor Lane Heights there on deck in Kentucky for 60 mile per hour winds and perhaps some quarter-size hail within the stronger cores. But a pretty strong thunderstorm there nonetheless.
Let's see what they do with that warning as this storm is about to approach the Floyd County line. In fact, it's actually entered into Floyd County. We'll see if they issue a downstream warning here for the rest of Floyd and perhaps some of Clark County as well. Overall, both radars don't really indicate that northern cell is looking severe, at least. Actually, just got a report here from Indiana for the first one. Actually, here we go. From 2 miles north of Corydon, we have a confirmed wind gust of 62 miles per hour from Mesnet Station. 62 miles per hour. That's 10 minutes ago. So this northern line is actually severe. Measured 62 mile an hour gust here about north of Corydon. So this is still severe. And that would tell me we likely have a downstream warning coming here for the rest of Floyd County, as well as the southern part of Clark County. We would expect that to be issued
we We likely have some power outages as well because the NDOT camera went down in Corydon. It's red, and those are ran by electricity. So a lot of times, if you have some power outages, those cameras will become inoperable, and that one went down. So could be an indication, not guaranteeing right there, but could have some strong winds approaching that area.
Yeah, and with that also said, it kind of goes back to kind of show you guys. We talk about that radar, not having a good look at this. That's kind of where we're at right now. Although the airport radar kind of offers a better look at it, but even on the airport radar, it's not.
And there's
really
our severe thunderstorm warning. So
Perfect.
It just got extended for Floyd County, and does expand, I think, a little bit into southern Clark County as well.
Yeah,
getting in on this severe thunderstorm warning.
All the way over to Charleston, almost close to Owen, but not quite to Owen. That's going to be pretty much for the. Actually, it's a good chunk of southern Clark County.
Yep, keeping it at 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So the warning text remains the same. Well, we do have that confirmed report, though, just on the north side of Corydon there, 62 measured, and that's by a Mesonet station, which is a weather station. It's a mounted weather station on the north side of town. Did measure that confirmed. So that is pretty strong winds associated with this thunderstorm, and knowing that it has the capability of producing those winds boosts the confidence of the National Weather Service and what we're seeing here on radar as well. Although it doesn't look as impressive on velocity on Louisville's radar, we know that is not the case, and those stronger winds are mixing down to the ground, capable of reaching wind speeds in excess of 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, the beam height on the radar here is right around 1,000 feet. So it kind of goes to show you that even if we're that low to the ground, there's still some stronger gusts happening underneath that 1,000-foot mark, which is why being close to a radar helps, but it's not always going to be 100% accurate.
Yeah, radar is really good. It can get you close, but sometimes radar does have limitations. And actually, looking at the airport radar, and now a Louisville radar now, Ryan, shows that pretty decent gust front coming into the Georgetown area.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Caleb. It's been kind of increasing, and I think that's because the angle is getting a little bit better there toward the radar.
We're getting a better view at it.
Yeah, so we're going to get a better view of this through Floyd County, especially through Clark County as this starts moving away from the radar. You're going to start seeing those bright greens turn to bright reds as reds go away from the radar and the greens are going toward the radar. So on the right side of your screen there, those are your wind velocities. Any color in green is going toward, any color in red is going away from that radar. So you're going to see that change over here to red and likely some brighter reds mixed in there.
Yep, and this is going to be heading towards the New Albany area here pretty soon here, as well as the Georgetown area as well. And this is also a pretty rolly area as well, Ryan. Pretty rural, or not rural, but pretty heavy terrain here. As we get near the Ohio River, it gets pretty rolly down there. So something else to keep in mind as well. And pretty decent shelf cloud on this storm as well. Getting some NDOT pictures here, looking at pretty decent shelf cloud here. The strongest winds right now appear to be right along I-64 here, coming into the Georgetown area, New Albany area, and Floyd's Knob, getting in on some pretty gusty winds here, up to 60 miles per hour. And in fact, we have had 60-mile-per-hour winds confirmed here with this storm. They have kept that warning.
They canceled Meade.
Quarter.
They canceled Meade County. That was one for Kentucky there. That's why the alert popped up.
Not surprising there at that location. But a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for 33 minutes here, or until 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, located near Albany. It has picked up speed, though, a little bit, Ryan, moving at 15 miles per hour faster than what it was at 45 miles per hour. So it is picking up speed here a little bit, but moving in a pretty bad location, though, moving right down I-64 towards the Clarksville area, pretty populated area, too, that this storm is moving into. And here's a live look at I-64, just south of the Georgetown area, as the gust front is moving through right now. You can see the heavy rain coming. This is looking west, right into it, as these storms are coming right into this westbound traffic here. Not surprised to see some slowdowns here on the interstate as these storms are pretty potent here. Pretty good idea of what the winds are doing here on the trees as the gust front is moving in over the highway here. This is a live look at I-65 just south of Georgetown, or southeast of Georgetown, rather. Let's refresh that. Get another look at it here. Winds are still increasing here at this camera site here as the gust front is moving over the area. But back to the radar here. That gust front, pretty decent bow echo, Ryan, on that on this storm here coming into the Floyd's Knob and New Albany area as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't get a confirmed wind gust off of the Louisville radar. I'm gonna see if I can't pull that up to see what it gusted to. I'd be very curious.
I'd be curious to know that as well. But nonetheless, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here until 4:30 Eastern time. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, quarter-size hail here. So be in your safe place until this storm has passed. The strongest winds have moved largely out of Harrison County, but still some lingering heavy rain and perhaps some gusty winds on the northeast part of the county. Severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect here, but we'll likely see that trimmed out here as it does expire in 1 minute. So we're likely going to see that warning get allowed to expire here soon. But pretty strong thunderstorm now moving into Floyd's Knob, crossing US 50 now. The gust front is. Here's a live look in Floyd's Knob here. As the gust front is moving in, you can see the street sign moving there a little bit. The cable here moving a little bit. Pretty gusty winds. Yeah, you can see your trees moving there. So some gusty winds there moving into Floyd's Knob here. This is a US 150 here. You see 150 there on the sign. This is facing south as the gust front is moving through town. That sounds good. Have a couple other thunderstorms forming just south of the Indiana border here, near the LaGrange area, Jefferson area, Mount Washington area. We'll have to see if we get a warning extension on this warning here. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and a pretty healthy gust front here on the leading edge of this storm here in northern Kentucky. Our only severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana is for extreme southern Indiana here until 4:30 Eastern. This does include Floyd County, and a little bit of Clark County as well, the boot of Clark County until 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Strongest gust front here, you can kind of see the apex of the bow here a little bit. Kind of see how it looks like a backwards or a drawn bow and arrow. That's really indicative of some stronger winds on the backside. There's a special weather statement down just south of the Indiana-Kentucky border there. This is going to move or continue moving here along I-64, 265 here as we move into the US 31 area towards the Watson area as well. Could be getting in on some strong winds there as well. So if anybody is in this area in southern Crawford County, or Clark County, rather. I keep calling it Crawford. Clark County, Indiana, from Sellersburg to Charleston, Indiana. Be prepared for 60-mile-per-hour winds and perhaps some quarter-size hail within this thunderstorm as well. Go ahead and turn our hail tracker on here. Just take a look at that. We haven't looked at it for a little bit yet. Go ahead and turn that back on here. I don't really see a lot of hail in this storm anymore. Mainly a wind threat at this point in time. Have some hail makers just south and east of the Indiana border, south of Louisville there, moving towards the LaGrange area. Maybe some pea-sized hail back in here in this cell just south of 150, but other than that, not really a lot going on hail-wise in Indiana at this point in time. But we are seeing some gusty winds still a threat here with this thunderstorm. As you can see, that gust front there moving through Floyd's Knob at this point in time. Moving along 265 here, getting ready to come up to 265 here, moving along I-64 here in southern Indiana, and extreme eastern portions of Floyd County here. coming into western Clark County. Zooming out here across the region, not really a whole lot going on across the state as a whole. This is our only severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana at this point in time. Looking at different radars here across the state, maybe there we go. So light rain moving into portions of western Indiana, Evansville, getting into some light rain right now. Maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, but really nothing a lot to speak of other than maybe some just some light, steady rainfall and some dreary conditions here for the rest of the evening here for those locations. But the best chance for severe weather is really for this bottom row of counties here, from Clark County up to Ohio and Switzerland counties here in Indiana. Areas to the north of that, like think Seymour over the Dearborn County, in points north. No real severe weather threat for you guys. Pretty minimal threat here today, and really refined to far southern Indiana. So widespread severe weather not expected, but we have had some confirmed reports. We had a measured wind gust outside of Corydon, Indiana, in Harrison County, of 62 miles per hour. So these storms are capable of mixing down some strong winds down to the surface. So do keep that in mind if you're in this area or motorists traveling here along 265, 65, as well, near the Ohio River here coming into the Charleston area could have some gusty winds associated with it, but also our neighbors to the south in Kentucky having some stronger storms here associated with this cluster of thunderstorms here as well. A little more disorganized at this moment, not really a consolidated line or really mature complex at this point in time, but it is still having individual cells meeting that severe criteria like this one here. South of Jeffersonton, special weather statement on it for 25 minutes here. This is for 40.5-inch hail. Pretty decent hail core here on those cells. I don't see really any hail in Indiana at this point in time. Just some heavy rain and gusty winds. And being honest with you, the cell moving into Clarksville or Clark County, Indiana, looking a little weaker on radar, but looks can be deceiving, as we know. But very strong winds still in Kentucky here, moving towards the Shepherdsville, Kentucky area, Fox Chase, Kentucky, Hillsview, and areas along 65 here, getting in on some very strong winds here. In fact, let's switch to the airport radar here. You can see that very strong winds here south of the Hillview, Kentucky area, right along crossing 65. And coming into Louisville. I know the reflectivity doesn't look like much, but the winds are there. They're being picked up on radar here. So some pretty strong winds here associated with that thunderstorm just on the south side of the Indiana-Kentucky border. So not saying we don't have strong winds here on the northern side of the Ohio River, as we certainly can still have some pretty strong winds here associated with that thunderstorm. So do keep that in mind here if you're traveling on 65 southbound or northbound. Be prepared for those strong winds here over the next few minutes or so. Turning back on our velocity here, they trimmed back that warning just a little bit. You can see our gust friend here, Ryan. And if you look at Louisville's radar, my radar doesn't show it the best. Pretty strong winds there, moving towards the airport radar in Kentucky. But could have some of those winds still mixing down in southern Clark County, Indiana. Sometimes the radar doesn't have the best interpretation of what is going on exactly on the ground. But pretty strong winds, though, just south of the Indiana-Kentucky border.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like the biggest storm, the healthiest storm, is still south of the border, from what I'm seeing. We do have a report of a horse trailer and a camper blown over along State Route 150 near Heidelberg Road. That's going to be in Harrison County, just south of Corydon. So we have some wind damage there. Sounds like a horse trailer and camper was blown over. So some damage there from that storm earlier.
Yep. And I'm going to show you a whale's mouth coming into Louisville here. This is on the 65 bridge here over the Ohio River. See a little bit of an extended shelf cloud there, moving into the Louisville area. Kind of a cool shot there at the bridge. See the camera shaking there. Traffic's still moving okay there over the bridge and into Kentucky. I always like going over this bridge. I always thought it looked pretty cool. But you can see the skyline there of Louisville and a nice little extended shelf cloud there. But could have some strong winds there on the backside of the storm as well. But wanted to bring that in to show you as it looked kind of cool on camera there. But I was telling everybody, Ryan, how a lot of our cores in these storms have weakened quite a bit. I don't really see much of a hail threat, at least at this point in time, in Indiana, with the strongest updrafts just south of the Kentucky line there, south of the Ohio River, near the Jeffersontown area, showing some indications of hail. But a lot of our updrafts have weakened, at least for the time being. They could always re-intensify, and we've seen that re-intensification earlier today. We'll just have to see how these storms are able to do that again.
Got another report coming in here just across the border into Kentucky, literally like a mile across the border, Jefferson County, Kentucky. Tree and power lines down across the 6,000 block of Rutledge Road. Again, that's like a mile or two just outside Indiana. So this line is producing damaging winds. Luckily for right now, south of the state line, but we could still see some gusts there entering Clark County momentarily. Again, this has a history of producing damage near the Corridon area with a confirmed 62 mile per hour gust.
Yeah, some pretty strong winds there nonetheless. Moving into the Louisville area, surrounding areas, Sellersburg, Charleston could get them some gusty winds with the more severe winds just to the south into Kentucky. Here's a look at the State Road or I-265 here, crossing into Kentucky here. This is looking south here at this bridge over the Ohio River. See some heavy rain shafts here in the background. Not a lot of wind here at this current location. There's a little bit east of our storms here at this point in time. But this is the bridge outside of the Prospect, Kentucky bridge, and the Utica, Indiana bridge here on 265 here. The Lewis and Clark bridge showing some nice hefty showers and thunderstorms here behind it. Traffic's still moving okay. Not really a lot of waves here on the Ohio River. Ohio River is quite calm right now, as the gust front is still off to the south and east of this location. We can see those showers and storms starting to move into this vicinity here over the next few minutes. I always love bridge shots like that, watching the storms roll over towards the bridge. Always kind of a cool perspective there as these storms continue to move off to the east at 45 miles per hour. Our severe thunderstorm warning, and only severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana, still in effect for another 20 minutes here until 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 19 minutes now. Quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds is what this warning is for. Although I really don't see the hail threat anymore associated with this, but we could still have some gusty winds here within the orange polygon there in Indiana. But if you guys have any storm reports or anything like that and want to report it and tell us, go ahead and feel free to put that in there and let us know what you're seeing, where you were at in your location. New severe thunderstorm warning issued just to the south of our area here. This is for our neighbors to the south in Kentucky. So just south of the border, 60 and penny size hail is what they issued that for. And we can see those storms here. Here's a look at our Lewis and Clark bridge care. A little bit of a shelf cloud here starting to come on scene here. This is for those storms just to the south here. You can really see that protruding there. Really, really cool look there on that bridge. This is looking south here to our neighbors to the south and getting a nice look there at what is going on.
More confirmed damage reports coming in. Again, literally all these are just a mile or two off of the Indiana border into Kentucky, Jefferson County. We have a large tree branch falling across the roads, took power lines down 1500 block of South 32nd Street. We also have that one with the 6,000 block of Rutledge Road with power lines down. A new one, a carport was blown. This is what it said: carport blown up into the power lines on this 10,000 block of Emma Jean Way. So apparently the winds were so strong it lifted a carport and threw it into power lines. Those are some pretty intense winds. Luckily, though, again, this is just across the border in Kentucky, so we're missing out for the most part here in Indiana, which is good news. But still, if you have friends or if you're even watching from the Jefferson County area, these are quite intense winds we've been through the Louisville area currently.
Yeah, pretty nice shelf cloud there coming into view just on the south side. Here's the Ohio River. We're on the Indiana side here is where this camera is looking, and Kentucky is just on the other side there, and pretty strong thunderstorms being reported there just on the other side of the river. There is where the strongest core of these storms have been. But just goes to show you, how easily straight line winds can cause some damage and blow things around. Carports having that big open awning, it's really easy for winds to get underneath of that and to lift those up and create those to go airborne. Same effect that trampolines go airborne during strong wind events. Wind can get underneath of that, and you kind of get a lifting mechanism, kind of like an airplane wing. You have that Bernoulli effect going on, and that creates lift. And unfortunately, sometimes it can send things flying. And not surprised we had that carport report, but those carports, Ryan, they're not light. They're pretty heavy.
No, they are, but they also connected to sail too, because they do have that surface. What's the word I'm looking for? Surface space, I guess. They have that is a sail, really. They can. I'm cracking Caleb up, but I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. There's a large surface area that winds can pick up and push out. So it's like a tent, but it's a heavy tent.
Yeah. Think of the roof as a carport acting like an airplane wing, and when air goes underneath and above it, it acts as the wing of an airplane, and that can create lift, and that can send it flying. But when it goes sideways, it acts as a sail on a boat, and that can keep it tumbling through the air until it hits something, in this case, power lines, which isn't a good situation, but that happens. And another reason to try to have these things anchored down as well. I know sometimes we can't entirely help it, even if you do everything right. Sometimes the winds are just strong enough to grab those things just right to where they blow them over, tip them, and blow them out of the area. So that can still happen during strong wind events there. Same thing with your trampoline. Every time we get strong wind reports, we always love looking for trampoline reports to see how far those things were flown and lofted, as they are notorious for becoming airborne during straight line wind events, or just synoptic wind events too. A lot of times they are known for being quite the airborne machines.
I will say too, Caleb, looking at the latest reflectivity scans, these storms may be on the way out. They're gusty, but they're not looking overly severe through Indiana. Again, if you're in Jefferson County there, in the east side of Louisville, likely damaging wind continues. In fact, we're still getting reports of wind gusts and damage from the Louisville area. But in terms of Indiana, this looks like it could be on the way out here, looking at the velocity, Caleb.
Yeah, doesn't look all too impressive, but again, looks can be deceiving. As we didn't have a good look at it in Corydon, and it was able to produce 62 mile per hour winds there. So I wouldn't discount it yet entirely, but still a strong thunderstorm nonetheless. And I would treat it as a severe thunderstorm if you were in that warning there, just in case it is still mixing down some stronger winds down to the ground. Here's a live look at the Lewis and Clark Bridge here. Nice shelf cloud there coming into view here. You can see the waves starting to pick up on the Ohio River here, especially on the right side of your screen. You can kind of see the currents starting to show here as the winds are starting to interact with the water, and the storm is starting to move on through towards the bridge here. This is looking south here. Louisville is way off to the south and west. They're actually in the rain in the top portion of your screen here. This is looking south into Kentucky here. Kind of a cool shot there with the storm clouds there moving into town. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings still, only one in effect for Indiana, and this is for Clark County and a little bit of still in effect for Floyd County. However, Floyd County will likely get trimmed back here as the gust front is into southern Clark County now, and really doesn't look that impressive on radar. Still moving east at 40 miles per hour here. Stronger storm to our south in Kentucky. But we're going to have to watch a couple of these cells out ahead of it, mainly for hail. They could develop a hail core. Right now, These cores are not too impressive here, but some pea-sized hail coming into the west central Clark County, as well as maybe some pea-sized hail up there in Scott County near Scottsburg. Could be getting some pea-sized hail up in there, but strong, but not severe at this point in time. But something to watch and some trends to watch here going forward as well. But what an active week we have had here, and really an active spring here across Indiana. We have definitely been pretty active here. Here's a storm now coming into the Lewis and Clark Bridge here. You can see the winds there. Look at the water there as the gust front is moving in and pushing the waves upstream here. You can see the wind and rain curtains there moving on the water. The storm is rolling into the bridge here. I'll have to watch the trees here to see how strong the winds actually get here. This will be the Clark County line here with and state line as well with Kentucky here in southern Clark County. This is where this bridge is at. This is 265 here at the Lewis and Clark Bridge. Look at the trees there, bottom right of your screen, and the wind's starting to rip up the river there. Kind of a cool scene to look at. Nice shelf cloud there ahead here, Ryan. We're watching the gust front come through. This is southern Clark County, right at the state line here between Clark County and Kentucky.
Yeah,
I think you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, I'm good. Going back to radar here, though. Excuse me. Just down some food, so I'm kind of still trying to adjust it. But otherwise, look at the radar. It just doesn't look too impressive through Floyd and Clark County. Honestly, it really doesn't. Going back down here to the radar, we're looking at this area right here. What was once decently healthy looking little bow echo here through Floyd is turned into just mostly rain. It's evaporating almost. Perhaps getting fed into this cell up here. I have to watch this cell to see if this takes some intensity down from here. Overall, nothing overly concerning in terms of hail risk right now. The gusty wind risk does continue here, but again, this looks like a pretty minor gust front up here through Clark County. We're still getting reports of damage throughout Louisville. Power lines down at Catherine Street and South First. Tree down over the 1100 block of Etley Avenue. Power lines down at Cypress and Doomsill. So this is quite a potent storm there for the Louisville area.
Yeah, it is. Some power outages are also starting to come in. Not in the county yet for Louisville, but Meade County, I believe, is starting to have some power outages come in. For Meade, actually, no, that's actually for Corydon. That's actually for Harrison County, showing about 1,217 customers without power in Harrison County. So 4.3%, likely around the Corydon area where we had that gust of 62 miles per hour. But we do have some spotty power outages starting to come in, Ryan, which isn't surprised to hear that when you have those stronger wind gusts mixing down to the surface. Unfortunately, those winds do cause some damage occasionally. Had a lot of reports coming out of Louisville, our neighbors to the south, of power lines being damaged, even a carport in a power line, and just a whole bunch of loose end stuff being blown around down there. So in this severe thunderstorm.
Yeah, and also looking at the confirmed wind gusts through Louisville, surprisingly not overly strong. I have 49 miles per hour at the Louisville International Airport. And then the other gust I have is also 49 at the Louisville Bowman Airport. So both about 50 mile an hour gusts there, which is not technically severe. But obviously we had enough to produce some damage here. So either way, 50, 60, 70, it is serious and it's causing damage throughout Louisville. But again, this line does appear to be loosely organized as it moves across Louisville into Oldham and Shelby County, Kentucky. Overall, we had a nice potent line back here, and if you just continue to really animate that forward, it's really starting to take shape into another little line here, pushing up into Oldham County. I have to watch this line now to see what it does.
Yeah, that line could eventually make its way towards maybe Ohio and Switzerland County, Indiana. Those would be the two counties on deck. Maybe a little bit of Jefferson County, I'm going to have to watch U3 in particular for that southern line to see if it works its way up into southeast Indiana. But looking at these cameras here, you're in the middle of the storm here. Winds are maybe 15 miles an hour here, looking at the trees blowing. Just not that impressive. Not really seeing very many waves on the river here either, which is another indication of, this storm is not severe, at least here at State Line. Does not look too impressive there on the camera. Our severe thunderstorm warning does expire here in 7 minutes. My guess is, Ryan, they're just going to let it expire.
I have to assume so.
Here in 7 minutes.
I have to assume so. And I can't imagine they're going to continue that.
Yeah. We have a couple cells out ahead of it here, though. We're going to have to watch for maybe some hail. Have to watch their updrafts a little bit. The one up here in Scotts County, and then the one in western Clark County as well. But right now, sub-severe at this point in time. But could have maybe some pea-sized hail associated in them. But there are a couple cells we are going to have to watch for. That severe thunderstorm watch does remain in effect here for this area of Indiana until 9 o'clock here tonight.
Additional damage coming in across Louisville area. I'm actually kind of surprised. We have some reports here. More trees down across roadways. Actually, tree fell on 2 vehicles, intersection of East Burnett Avenue and South Brook Street. And the other one coming in is wind damage. Tree down across the road, intersection of Lexington Road and Payne Street. So numerous reports of damage continue to fill in from this line of storms.
And a lot of times when you have a strong thunderstorm of any type move over a metropolitan area, you unfortunately get damage like this. A lot of the trees in metropolitan areas are not as deeply rooted as they are in rural areas, so sometimes they can be easier to blow around as well. So just a bunch of things and bunch of factors that go into it as well. But just a bunch of things we're going to have to keep an eye on here as these storms move outside of Louisville and eventually making their way into Indiana here.
We'll have to keep an eye on these cells up here to the north across Scott and Jefferson County. I wouldn't expect them to go severe, but they are trying to develop their... we'll see if they continue to strengthen or if they're going to just kind of hang out as cells. Overall, I wouldn't expect there to be a new warning after this one expires here in 4 minutes. Also, Caleb, I don't know if I want to bring this up or not. I guess I will, but looking at the damage indicators here across Louisville, it seems pretty condensed into one particular path. You notice that too, Caleb, or is it just me?
I was looking at that too, and but I was going back and forth between the airport radar and Louisville Airport, just trying to get a look and feel for the storm as it was moving through. And whenever you have a storm moving directly over in a radar, it's hard to tell, but there was a pocket there of winds that went through that area. But when you're looking at it from a radar perspective, when the storm is directly over a radar likes to look at things looking straight at it, not up into it. And so when you have that vantage point, it can make things a little bit difficult to see where exactly the strongest winds are. But there definitely were a few pockets of some stronger winds mixing down to the ground. So that was probably one of those pockets that moved through central Louisville that caused that damage. So we see those reports still trickling in as people are going outside and seeing what the ruckus was.
This warning for Floyd and Clark County continues for 2.5 more minutes, and then it is set to expire. I currently do not see any particular... They just SWS'd it. So they're going to forgo the warning. They're going to continue a special weather statement here for, I'm assuming, wind.
Winds to 50 miles per hour and pea-sized hail.
Yep. So even though this storm, if you look on radar here, the storm has become just some rain showers and maybe some thunder embedded, it's still quite gusty. If you turn on the velocity here, you can still see there's a pocket there in the brighter reds of some heavier winds. So just to be safe, they did continue the SWS downstream here for Clark County.
Yep, but we're going to have to watch downstream Jefferson and Switzerland counties, Indiana, to see if any of these storms do manage to make their way back up into Indiana. But we also have a couple thunderstorms making their way through just north of Clark County, actually, and Scott County, and a little bit of Jefferson County, too. Have some heavier thunderstorms there, but they are sub-severe at this point, Ryan, but could have maybe some pea-sized hail in a couple of those.
No, I agree.
As well as heavier downpours. So we're definitely not out of the risk entirely yet, though we have been downgraded to a special weather statement. That is good. But we do have the risk continuing here for at least another hour or so before these storms solely move into Kentucky or even into Ohio. But the risk is mainly for those counties near the Ohio River, Clark, Scott, Jefferson, Switzerland, and Ohio, and maybe a little bit of Dearborn County and Ripley. We just have to see how these storms evolve as they move into extreme southeastern Indiana. But we have had quite a bit of damage reports, though. Luckily, those staying just south of Indiana, just by a couple of miles, if that, on the other side of the Ohio River, has just been where the stronger gusts have been mixing down to the ground. But we also had a 62-mile-per-hour gust, Ryan, reported in Corydon, Indiana, and Harrison County.
Yeah, we had that
about an hour ago.
We had that report of 62 miles an hour. We also had that report of a horse trailer and camper flipped. So that was along State Route 150. That was about an hour ago. So still have reports of damage coming in for Louisville as well. I mean, there's just so many. Trees down, trees down, trees down, trees down. They're everywhere. In fact, there's more coming in. They're still putting them out there. Additional trees down. I'm just going to stop. Until I see something that's more than just a tree across the roadway, I'm just going to stop bringing it up. But there is a lot of damage reports coming in from Louisville.
Yeah, probably had a pretty strong downburst move through town there.
Right.
And sometimes that does happen. Unfortunately, when you have a severe thunderstorm moving over a metropolitan area like that, a well-populated area, oftentimes there is quite a bit of damage, both trees, structural, power lines. You have a pretty tightly packed area of trees and power lines really close together, and it doesn't take long to have a chain reaction of a tree falls that takes down a block of power lines and vice versa. So not super surprised to hear those reports coming in down there.
I'll be right back, Caleb.
Sounds good. But currently, no severe thunderstorm warnings aren't affecting Indiana. We do have a special weather statement for extreme southeastern portions of Clark County, 50-mile-per-hour winds, pea-sized hail. So they are still watching that gust front here on the leading edge. We'll turn on our velocity here to show you that. The strongest gust front right in here, coming into LaGrange, Kentucky, is where the strongest winds are right now. But there's a little bit of that portion extending into Clark County, so they, out of caution, put that special weather statement on it. But pretty decent winds here along I-71 here coming into LaGrange, Kentucky here. So could have some pretty strong winds there. Moving into the LaGrange area. A couple cells moving through Jefferson County as well, but they are sub-severe at this point in time. A couple heavy downpours and maybe some pea-sized hail, but I don't really see much on that. Seymour, Indiana, you're in the clear. Nothing for you guys right now. Nothing is expected for you guys at all. You guys are not in the risk for severe weather. It's actually just to your south, by about a county and a half to your south, and moving away from you. So you guys are good. If that changes, we'll let you know, but I highly doubt that will change. I'm just looking at data and trends at the moment. But currently, one special weather statement in effect for Indiana. Looking around the state, though, not a lot going on. We've seen some of the storms in Ohio kind of start to tame down just a little bit. Have some rain moving into the Terre Haute area, but this is just rain back in here. Not really any thunderstorms or anything like that. And this rain will continue off and on really throughout the next few days. We're going to have a rainy, wet, and cold, dreary pattern that is going to move in, and that is thanks to a big upper level low that is driving our active weather here today. It's going to become detached and has become detached from the jet stream. The jet stream is our big upper level air currents that steer and control a lot of the weather here across the continental United States, including Indiana. And when you have areas of low pressure that get away from that jet stream and get into some slower moving air, you lose the steering mechanism for them. So this upper level low is going to sit right over Indiana here over the next couple of days, and it's really going to take 2 to 3 days to get the thing out of here. And because of that, you may have noticed on your weather apps and how you were looking at them a few days ago, and this weekend was looking great, fantastic, sunny and 70s. And now all of a sudden we're looking in the 50s, 60s, and rain. Well, that is why this low pressure system has become detached from the jet stream, and it's just going to meander around and hang out with us, whether we like it or not, for the next 2 to 3 days. And with that, it's going to bring periodic chances of showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, and some gusty winds as well across Indiana through about Tuesday to Wednesday of next week before we finally start to dry out and warm up and become really nice. Some nice weather in the long term here, but we got to get through this dreary weekend here. And I'll bring this up just to say, but Sunday morning, no frost is expected here this weekend. I'll be clear on that. Luckily, no frost, but we could have wind chills. Yeah, we're going to be talking about wind chills for portions of northern Indiana
and northwest
severe
thunderstorm
Indiana.
Watch has been issued.
They kind of trimmed that back a little bit, I think. But some wind chills across western Indiana and northern Indiana down into the 30s Sunday morning. So I know that'll get everybody excited. But yeah, I could have some wind chills Thursday morning. So fun times in Indiana. When the AC turns off, the furnace turns on. Welcome to May, right? So could have that coming for us as well. But near term, though, our severe weather, we are down to one special weather statement for Clark County, Indiana, extreme southeast Clark County, Indiana. And then we'll likely go into all clear mode here a little bit with no statements or warnings here for a little bit. We'll have to watch those cells as they may interact with Ohio and Switzerland counties there. But for right now, there's Ryan. He's just messing with our automated warning system. Still a few bugs in it. We're getting those worked out here for you. That way it'll be fully operational.
A new severe thunderstorm watch has been issued.
As Caleb was just saying,
we are working out the bugs on him. So as he restarted that system, every time you restart it lists off all the warnings and statements and watches that are already in place. So that's why you heard that there a couple times as I was talking. But if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to put them in chat. I'll try to get them answered here for you near term. Really not a lot going on right now, Ryan. The strongest winds are moving it further into Kentucky here, south of Clark County. Looking at radar, I really don't see a whole lot in terms of strong weather in Indiana, at least at this current moment. There's a few storms we're going to have to keep an eye on for intensification, one moving towards the Madison, Indiana area. But right now, not a lot going on. It's thankfully staying just south of the river. Yeah, really the only county yet to be concerned for me is Switzerland County and extreme southeast Indiana could get grazed with some uh, gusty winds perhaps on the north side of this. Could see maybe another special weather statement for you guys. But unless this shifts back north, it'll likely stay just south of the Ohio River as it makes its way towards the Dry Ridge, Kentucky area here in the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. We're going to have to keep an eye on those cells, stretching from Switzerland County all the way to Madison, Indiana there. But right now, just some heavy downpours and some lightning and maybe some pea-sized hail. Not really anything too concerning right now, Ryan, going on the Indiana side of the river. Yeah, I agree with you. We're not. We'll be watching radar here behind the scenes, and if these storms get an attitude, as I like to say, we will hop back on and we'll cover that for you. But for right now, they're under control and likely going to stay to our neighbors to the south in Kentucky. At least that's how the radar in the overall environment is trending right now. If that's the change, we'll let you know. We'll post updates on the page, and we'll continue to watch radar here for you. And watch how that is trend. But one last look at radar here before we hop off. Areas impacted: LaGrange, Kentucky, right along the 71 corridor here in Point South, Sanders, Owenton, Montgomery, Dry Ridge, and maybe getting into the Butler area and Independence. Really the only area in question is right here. Extreme southern Switzerland County, perhaps getting some gusty winds later on, maybe in a half an hour or 40 minutes, but it largely depends on how this tracks here. But right now, confidence is a little bit on the lower side for severe weather for Switzerland County. But that would be the county in question there that we're going to have to keep an eye on here behind the scenes. But with that being said, I'll let Ryan add anything if he has anything to add.
I don't have anything to add besides we'll be here watching and go back live if need be. If you happen to live across northern Kentucky, that cell will likely continue to produce damaging wind there for Henry, Oldham, Shelby, Owen, and probably Gallatin counties. And then again, Switzerland County is the only county worth keeping an eye on as of right now. So with that said, we're going to pop out of here. I'm going to go ahead and pop myself off the screen as well as Caleb, and we're going to go ahead and roll the outro. You guys stay safe. We will see you guys hopefully not later today, but hopefully sometime in the future.